That weird moment when you pause, you're in the middle of saying something, trying to explain, describe, make a point, and then nothing. Your brain flatlines, your mouth stalls, you reach for the word, and it just doesn't come. Cue the awkward silence, cue the grasping, cue the self-judgment. Why can't I articulate this? I sound like an idiot. Come on, think faster. But what if that moment isn't a glitch? What if it's a doorway? Here's a way to think about it. Language is like the software layer that runs on top of raw experience. It categorizes, labels, makes sense of the mess. It turns fuzzy feelings into thoughts, and thoughts into identity. That's a bad memory. That's anxiety. That's who I am. Language is useful, often necessary, but it's also limiting. Because once we wrap something in words, we forget what it felt like before the words showed up. In meditation, there's a moment people talk about. They call it the gap. It's the tiny space between one thought and the next, between noticing a sensation and narrating it, between feeling something and building a story around it. That's where awareness lives, not in the story, in the space before the story forms. And this ties directly back to blanking out mid-sentence. That pause, where you're scrambling for words and nothing comes, that's accidental meditation. You've been booted out of the mental software, and for a split second, you're just there, naked, unprocessed, awake. It doesn't feel profound, it feels awkward. But awkward silence and raw awareness are neighbors. You're standing in the hallway between thought and speech, and if you stop fighting it, you might notice, oh, I'm here. I'm just here. We often admire people who can explain things instantly. They're impressive, quick, polished, but they might also be a little trapped. Their minds move so fast, they wrap experience in language before they've fully felt it. And then there are those of us who stall, who live in that tension, that pause, that fuzzy edge where thought hasn't become language yet. And that might be exactly the territory meditation is trying to point to. The thing you thought was a weakness, the stalling, the struggle, might actually be a back door into clarity. Not clarity you can explain. Clarity you can feel. Pre-verbal. Unconstructed. Real. It's important to say, language isn't the enemy. This isn't about glorifying silence or pretending words are bad. Language is how we connect, how we build, how we heal. And pausing doesn't mean you're enlightened. It's not about the pause. It's about what you notice in the pause. Some people think visually, some emotionally, some intuitively. This isn't about who's better. It's about noticing the places most people rush past. So next time you blank mid-sentence, don't panic, don't push, just notice. For half a second, don't try to find the word. Just be where you are. You might find yourself standing in something vast and clear and wordless. And you'll realize you weren't failing. You were meditating. You just didn't know it yet.